Alrighty, so I called you guys here today because not too long ago I played Metroid Other M because I got it for hey, I got it for $5, man.
I
Well,
know.
I got it for $5. However,
what did
I'm
you
still
think about it?
debating whether or not that was the right price for it. But in other way,
Understandable.
but anyway, yeah, I recently played it. I beat it not too long after getting it, and yeah. So let's just go ahead and get the elephant out of the way, or elephant in the room out of the way. What did you guys think about it?
You want?
Um,
Like
I
in terms of
guess.
gameplay, okay, everyone knows about the cutscenes. Okay, we're throwing the easy thing out. Okay, what
the
about
the
the
easy
game?
thing is the entire story is a joke. Like just everything about the story is just
Yeah.
so stupid.
In terms of gameplay, I had fun with it actually. Like
Yeah.
it felt like Metroid in 3D, like and not first
Oh, you
person.
guys had fun with it?
I feel like on
No.
my end it was a little bit more complicated, honestly. Like I feel like certain parts of the gameplay are fun and certain parts are just a horrible, horrible experience.
Yeah, that stuff where you have to shoot missiles with the Wiimote, that was bullshit. And
Yeah,
like you have to search for things, right?
Oh,
yeah.
I hated the search in using missiles.
Oh god.
It's like, hey, look for this obscure bullshit thing on your screen.
That's really part of the cutscenes, though. I wouldn't qualify that as being
Yeah,
part
I
of the
suppose.
gameplay.
Yeah,
But
because they usually only show up when you're either just getting out of a cutscene or before a cutscene, pretty
yeah,
much.
it's usually during like a transition from one part of the game to another, and then there's like some heavy cutscene, and then oh shit, now you gotta find a pixel, and then oh suddenly back to
Exactly, that's what it was. Uh, anyway.
But the first person missile thing is definitely, I would definitely qualify that as being part of the gameplay, and
Yeah.
that is a piece of shit, uh, hands
Yeah, that
down.
was terrible.
All right. Well, believe it or not, I actually have some written questions here. All right. So, first one, I guess it kind of goes along with the cutscenes, but personally, I just found it to be, rather grating. Do you think this game had the weakest reason for losing upgrades slash items? In other
The
words,
weakest reason.
yes. Samus, I authorize you too.
I
Compared
feel, I
compared to
feel
the
like,
other Metroid
I'll
games,
just let you go first now.
Yeah, go.
Yeah.
it, well, like like I actually wanted to ask about that too because like I mean, would you rather have Samus like be holding back or have some contrived space explosion causing her to lose all of her power ups every time? Like
Yeah.
what is the most acceptable way for that to
So,
happen?
Well, if
yeah, I
Because
can expand on that,
oh,
and
go ahead.
I would say that, um,
because I like that they tried something new with that,
yeah. Well, it's
but
like
like a lot of
they
people
had a
didn't
good
like it. So
exactly. They had a good idea. Like they had something going for them. Like I feel like it would have been cool to have it that way and not suck. But the problem with what they did, with having that as part of this story that they put in this game, is the fact that Samus's character was, you know, I guess portrayed too weakly, and it
submissive.
Oh,
yeah, submissive is a good
that.
term for it.
Actually,
And
I received a little tip from that yesterday after I finished off the last part of the 13, discussion series I did.
yeah,
Um, After I stopped recording, we just, hung around a bit and chatted. And oh god, I'm not good with names, but I think it was Razzle Dazzle Hour who told me that they that there was an interview with Samus's voice actor,
yeah,
and apparently they told her to act, or say her lines devoid of emotion and everything, and whenever she tried,
yeah,
Seriously,
yeah.
yeah,
I
whenever
can
they
and
told
definitely.
her
whenever she,
not to act.
yeah, pretty much, and whenever she
What?
tried, putting feeling into it, they said no, 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 stop that. Or
Who's in
he
Yeah,
said
charge of
they kept
that?
her from trying to add more into it.
you know what?
And
I'm
This
even
is
not.
she,
Jennifer Hale, right?
I
It's
mean, even
Jennifer
the
Hale.
voice actor said, no, this is kind of bull.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Like it's Jennifer Hale, right? Or who is
I
Samus's
don't
voice actor?
remember.
Oh, whatever.
it doesn't
I,
really matter,
I've
but
got Firefox here.
the point of
This is
that is
professional.
that
It's
the
some famous
guys in
lady.
charge of the project, those guys purposefully did these things to this game. They like this didn't like become a train wreck by accident. This
Well,
actually
now I'm
just
just
like,
more befuddled because like, did they want it to be bad? Was
I
that the
think
purpose
no,
of
it's
that?
just like I think that their
Fuck all if I
direction,
know.
their overall direction with the game was just bad. Like they didn't try to make it bad, but they just didn't know.
Jessica Martin. Jessica Martin, voice
Jessica.
actor. That's the voice actor.
Huh.
Uh,
I thought it was someone else. Maybe in another game. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
so-
memorize voice actor
well,
names.
I don't know.
Because
But,
it's like if they got Jennifer Hale and told her not to do what her job is, then that would have just been.
Bad. But I don't know. To be honest, there have been other games that have, done the whole okay, you've lost all your power ups and now go find them again. They're like, if you ask me, Metroid Prime 1 and 3. Can't remember what 2's reason was because I didn't finish the game because I lost the disc.
To have a reason? Because sometimes they don't even give a reason.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it did. That was the when she went into the dark world, and then the fucking darklings like fucked her shit up, and then that's when she lost her power ups.
Oh, I guess
That
that's
was
what.
like one of the most explicit ones, actually.
And let's see what else. Fusion. Okay, I think also had a rather decent reason for it.
Yeah, fusion was like probably the most legit reason, actually.
Yeah.
Like she just got taken over by this alien shit, and they had to fucking dismantle her suit from her body.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
especially after since she killed its one and only predator.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, or an entire species, pretty much. Well, I think we actually talked about a little bit about this next question here. What are your thoughts on the control scheme?
I'm gonna have to say that. Okay, in terms of everything that wasn't first person, like missiles and shit, I think that they did the best that they could with that, with the Wii controller. I don't understand why they didn't use the nunchuck. Like, I can't, I don't know. Like, what the fuck is their problem? But I feel like if they did use the nunchuck, it would have been a better game.
But like for controlling,
Yeah.
like the way Samus moves, because that's the only thing I could think of using the nunchuck for.
Well, anything really. Even if they kept the first person shit, what they could have done was have the controller in the right hand at all times, so that even if you did have to periodically aim at the screen to switch to first person mode, your hand is already fucking pointing at the screen. So there would be immediately, like, from that, there would be a lot less, like...
Yeah, and have a toggle switch between first and third person views.
I mean, yeah, well, I mean, we could throw out suggestions all day. The point is...
I think they should.
Oh, don't worry, we'll
personally,
get to
I
we'll get to the suggestions later.
Yeah.
personally, I don't think they should have had the first person sections at all. They just didn't add anything.
Yeah.
So, like everything else, I didn't have any much problems with. Like, and even the waggling, which was like you shake it to dodge or something.
No, you actually
no,
press
no.
you press the control pad.
Oh,
Yeah, it's like a time D-pad thing. And I say
It's like-
time, like, sparingly, because it's really not that much of a timing thing.
yeah.
Yeah, I have my own thoughts on Sense Move.
It was a weird control combat system for Metroid, but
If you ask me, the Sense Move system worked or was worse than what was it? The side dash or sidestep from Prime?
Yeah, I mean, what was nice about the movement of Samus in this game was that it felt more like a Metroid game, and that's what I say by that is I mean, like, in when you're using Samus in like Metroid 1, 2, 3, 4, those games,
Yeah.
she's like she's like a ninja basically, you know,
Yeah.
and she's like jumping around all over the fucking place and going really fast. And when you go to the Prime games, it's just like, I'm so slow. Like, god damn it, give me
You're not
speed
even
booster, give me something.
not going fast. You're not doing
Uh,
flips and shit.
Yeah, you're
Believe it or
not
not, I
doing like
also have
crazy
my opinion
flips.
on the
No,
speed
those
booster
space
in this
jumps.
game. But
What was that about the speed booster?
I have my own thoughts on it.
Yeah,
But I don't know. I didn't. If you ask me, this the speed, the overall speed in the Prime series didn't, you know, bother me that much. And I
well, I
played the
guess
and I played the Super Metroid games, and in that or Super, yeah, if I can speak,
Super Metroid.
Super Metroid and Metroid Fusion. I played those games, and those were actually fairly, you were moving in those games.
yeah.
Hmm.
But I don't know.
It's
Actually,
basically a completely different play style than
yeah.
like first person. Like,
You
it's
could go that fast in first person. Like,
yeah, but
you could make a game like that.
Could make it like Doom.
yeah, I don't know about that though.
Uh, but yeah, overall in
They could have you flipping around in first person, like, and the
well,
camera
they do
goes
that,
with
or didn't
you.
they already do that with the screw attack and all that?
Yeah, they did that. They
Yeah.
No,
used
but they
that
made
in-
you go into third person for that. I want the screw attack where you stay in first
No,
person.
I think that's
No,
impossible.
no. We're not going there. But yeah, overall, when you're moving through the rooms in Metroid Prime, okay, it wasn't like, oh my god, I'm spending like 3 minutes trying to get from point A to point B. You got through the rooms fairly quickly.
I'm
The rooms
gonna
were
I'm gonna have to
also
disagree with that.
rooms
Uh,
were like less long and more. Uh,
oh, okay,
they
maybe
had
not
more
moving
depth because
quickly,
they were in
but
third
you
person.
you moved at a good enough pace that you weren't, going, come
Pacing
on.
was good, yes.
I
Yeah.
feel like my experience with Metroid Prime speedrunning has ruined my opinion of that game completely. Like, if you watch those guys, they do some crazy shit,
Oh
and it's
yeah,
just like it's completely different from the real game. And
yeah.
I think I like that, like
Wall
even more.
jumping, shine sparking, all that fun stuff.
Like target zipping, like doing weird shit where you like go faster than the game intended you.
Oh yeah, wasn't that where you like you get hit in just the right way so that it like flings you across the map?
Yeah, there's a bunch of techniques like that. I
Yeah.
just don't even.
But
I don't do that. But
trying to go back on topic, there's nothing like that in Other M. It's just kind of cut and dry
yeah,
when you think about
it's
it.
standard platforming, and then you got they give you speed booster eventually, but
Oh, okay. I'm
it
just
doesn't
gonna go ahead and
really.
talk about
It's
the
like
speed boost now.
realistic, I would say,
Yeah, it's pretty
compared to
realistic.
Super Metroid.
The speed
Yeah.
booster in Other M is slow.
Yeah,
Mm.
but
It's slow.
it makes you
It's faster.
feel faster. Like that's
No, because okay, it's very different from Fusion and Super, because in Fusion and Super, while your speed booster was charging up, you started to move faster along with the charge up, and then
what?
once
No,
you hit,
absolutely not. In Fusion, you held forward, and your character's velocity remains constant until speed booster activated.
Really?
And then you speed boost. Yeah.
all right, then my memory is kind of fucking
Super
with me. But I know
Metroid-
Super, you increased speed while it was charging up.
Super Metroid, the reason why it feels that way is because Samus has different like levels of velocity, similar to how like Super Mario works and stuff, where you start at level 0, and then as
Oh,
you
yeah, like
keep
the-
going, it goes
yeah,
up
the
and
P
up
meter.
and up. Yeah, so she actually has not only like velocity but momentum in that game as well, which also plays part in that, and that's why Super Metroid feels somewhat unnatural, but like a lot more like I don't know, fast.
I don't know, because in Other M, it was like it's like, okay, you could hear, the jets starting up,
Yeah,
and you could also see them, but it's like it wasn't doing anything. It was just for show
I don't know about that
until
one.
you actually hit that point, and then
I-
you started going Sonic.
For their like long ass tunnel parts where you you had a straight path that you had to run through. I feel like if you didn't have that upgrade, it would definitely take a definitely higher amount of time.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you there because it's like, okay, even with a speed booster, it's like, god damn, it's only
Oh yeah,
shaving
there's
off
tunnels
five
at the
seconds off.
Yeah, but
there's tunnels at
it's
the end of the game, and you're going fast, but like there's so much tunnel to go through.
Yeah,
right.
You're just going
Exactly.
around in a circle for like
it's like, fuck, come on, let me just
But
go.
even with that, they still managed to make it feel as if you were actually running. And I feel like the reason why they kept it like they kept the top speed like slower is I think they wanted to cater to like higher controllability for people who didn't really, have that ability to keep up with high speed.
Yeah, but you're talking about the Metroid series. That's like being able, like, control is being able to like control for all these different techniques is like a series staple.
And that's exactly the point. You should tell that to the creators, so they don't fuck
It's
it
like,
up. That you just hit the nail right on the head.
it's like, oh no, you guys don't get it. It's like, it's not. It doesn't feel like Metroid to me. It's like, come on, let me go
Honest,
fast. Let me
well,
do all these crazy wall jumps with the shine spark still going,
I
and
don't know,
then
man. Like I really felt like the physics in this game, like when you were walking around, running around, and platforming.
oh
This
well.
game felt like 3D Metroid Fusion. Honestly, like
It's
they
I would
funny you
say
should say that
I
because I think this was pretty much what they were aiming for, and they failed at it.
yeah, it really felt like that's what they were trying to do. I
You know
really
what
just
tipped me off to that fact? As soon as uh, the commanding officer Adam Malkovich told me like go through this door and proceed to the
oh
elevator,
yeah, oh
and then I
yeah.
saw on the map the
It
outline of the
literally
station.
yeah, exactly. It's
It
a
looked
fucking space
exactly
station.
like the
It
station
it
from
has
Metroid Fusion.
the commander who's giving you instructions is the exact same guy technically from Metroid
Well,
Fusion.
yeah, I know that,
And
but it was like as soon
and
as I saw the map on the wall, it was like they seriously did not try to do that.
even the level
did,
layout, you
is
have
it
like
really the same layout?
Well,
yeah,
it's pretty
you have
much. I
like
mean, you have
you
your
have an elevator with like sectors.
yeah, you have a central ship, and then there's like the map shows a central ship with sectors around it or whatever.
Yeah,
So
Man,
I mean it has a lot less sectors or whatever
yeah, it's
different
missing
areas
three
than
sectors.
I did
yeah.
not even notice that.
Yeah, I mean, it pretty
It's
much it
Somehow
took
this
the
game is
same
worse
exact
than I thought.
names. So what?
Somehow this game is worse than I thought.
Yeah,
worse.
well, okay, they even took the same names of the sectors. Okay, you have the biosphere, pyrosphere, and cryosphere.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And those
God.
are three of the names of the areas from Metroid Fusion.
Yeah, a lot of it is definitely like a play off of super, or not super, off Fusion.
Uh, oh, that reminds me. Why did they have Nightmare in this one?
They definitely had not just Nightmare, but also they put
The
Fantoon in this game.
Yeah, Fantoon. Why was Fantoon in this?
They were definitely trying to do some kind of like throwback to the old games, just as like
It's like-
Fantoon was the big eyeball guy, right?
Yeah, big eyeball
Yeah,
guy
man.
who summoned fireballs
Yeah.
everywhere.
I don't know. I like seeing him in 3D.
I thought it was a really cool boss battle. I just like was sad that he was in this game.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
I thought if this game
him
was
and
good,
Nightmare, because okay, those were like two of the coolest bosses.
well,
in the
Nightmare like
series.
sucked in this game. He was easy as shit. Like
And they
Fantoon
also
was
made him a pussy. I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
they
they
did.
made him a. That's the only way I can describe it. It's like they made him have a baby's cry, and they had like an actual face for him instead of like this insane bioweapon that was like sealed away, and then when you blew its face shield off, it was like a solid green face instead of like melting eyeballs and crap coming
That
out.
was
I don't
because it was melting because of the X virus, wasn't it?
Nah,
he was melting in both games. His face
No, he
was
wasn't.
melting in both games.
He
Yeah,
wasn't.
he was.
He started melting after you beat him up a little bit.
Yeah,
He
in
was?
Fusion,
Okay.
like when he got really, 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 really low
'cause I know in
HPs,
Fusion he melted.
Yeah,
He was melty the second you take his mask off, but in Other M, you had to beat the melt into him,
yeah.
scramble his face yourself.
They kind of
It made him a wimp.
his boss battle was just easy. IMO, like it was just really easy.
Nah, I mean,
But-
because I actually remember reading online that there were quite a few people legitimately afraid of Nightmare. I was one of those people too. Because no, I'm not even joking. When I was a kid, okay, when I first got this game and I got to that point, I was like, nope, I'm not playing this. Especially when you saw him saw his shadow flying in the background, it was like, shit.
Yeah,
Shit.
unfortunately, when I played Fusion, I was past that age, so I couldn't really. I couldn't really.
The first time I played Fusion, I saw the cutscene where they show the Sax virus's eyes, and I was like, nope. And I didn't play it for like
I
5
was
more
like,
years.
no, believe it or not, that point, that one, or that cutscene did not get me all scared. It was Nightmare himself. It was like, nope, not doing this, not doing this. All right,
No,
I'm doing
I
this.
just
I'm beating Fusion.
I
I don't
wish
know.
I.
I did not get far enough in that game. Like, I read the Nintendo Power Guide because I always read the guide when I was little,
Oh hell
and like
yeah!
they would
You
tell
got
you
the
that the
power.
Sax virus would follow you through the level. I was like, yeah, and so
Oh,
I just didn't play it because
damn
I
it!
was so scared.
But can you imagine like any moment from Other M, like being able to talk about it, like, oh yeah, remember this part?
I would think that the only thing about that game that I
Well,
would
in a
talk
good
about like
sense or a
that would
bad
be
sense.
like, I don't know. I would say Fantoon's fight was like the best because I'm a huge Super Metroid fan. And I would be
Yeah.
like, "Oh man, remember Fantoon? Yeah, that was awesome."
Well, I,
I
it's like
this is probably
I liked him, or I liked the boss fight, except for when I had to use concentration, and concentration is a terrible idea that can go die in a pit. Um,
Yeah,
eh, but it was like, yeah, this is an enjoyable boss fight, but all that enjoyment just kind of got thrown out the window because it's like, why is he here?
so right
Why?
away, like, well, we already know that the only reason why he's in the game and the only reason why Nightmare's in the game is for cameos, but like right away we have to.
I think they were also trying to explain where Nightmare came from because like everything is like an X virus in
Well,
the
yeah, but
station.
it was kind of
No, they
implied that Nightmare was already on the fusion research
no
station.
it wasn't implied at all. They already told you in that game that he was like an experiment on the station and he had the
Yeah, so it
ability.
On
makes no
that
sense for him
station.
to be on the or bottle ship.
I don't know. That was the only reason I could think of for putting them in that game. Maybe I'm
All I
wrong.
could think of is like retcon, just like retcon, so we can have a cool boss fight. Uh,
Yeah, I feel like they were trying to get the cool boss fight factor in. That was a
Alright.
pretty good.
We mentioned concentration earlier. Which brings to the next question. What are you thought? Oh wait, no. Oh no, we already talked about the control scheme, right?
Yeah.
In
Yeah,
that we
yeah.
all hated it in a
The
way.
concentration
I liked
thing
it.
was only briefly grazed
I
over.
had fun with
All right,
the
well,
control scheme.
that's the next
I
one.
actually really liked the combat and how Samus was doing flips and
The con-
stuff over
I feel
things.
like
I don't know if that's good or bad for a Metroid game, but I
no,
found it
I
as
thought the
My
pleasant.
combat. I thought it was refreshing, except for the fact that like some of the shit just didn't work. Like when
Yeah.
you tried to like jump on them and like fuck their
Oh
shit
yeah,
up. Like,
Overblast never worked when I wanted to.
yeah, it
I
like
liked
I swear to
figuring out
God,
how
I
Overblast
to.
had
and
like a
Sense Move.
60%
Sense Move
failure
would
rate.
work when it wanted to. Overblast, I could jump on their heads all day, and it's like, oh, 56th try. There you go.
Yeah, pretty much.
Uh,
I liked figuring out how to do those things.
yeah,
Like
but it tells you how to do it, and like
Yeah,
that's
like
another
no, no,
thing.
no.
It's like
That's the problem.
anything you do, a big ass message takes up like half your screen saying, "This is what it is. Here's how to do it."
but there was a
Yeah.
timing aspect to it, wasn't it? Wasn't there? Like
No, it's just jump on their heads.
No, it
Well,
literally told you like the only thing you had to do was you charge your shot and then you jump on them, and then it just activates.
yeah,
and it
it's
just
just
didn't
like
work.
release the button. I
It's
mean, some
supposed to.
enemies you had to like freeze or whatever, but even then, that kind of happened automatically.
Yeah.
Anyway, next question. What are your thoughts on the lack of recovery items and concentration? Concentration
Uh,
can go die in a pit. I'm saying that right now.
Now, concentration was the part where like you hold the button and then you recharge.
Yeah.
You hold the
Energy.
Wii remote upwards and
I
hold
I
A.
think I think it was possible. I don't know. Did anybody else besides me attempt hard mode, or am I the only crazy one?
I'm not doing that
I don't
shit.
remember.
Well,
You
part of
don't
the
remember?
part of the reason why I'm not doing it is because you have to do 100% on normal, and I'm sorry. After putting up with all the bullshit it threw at me the first time, no.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
understand.
I had enough motivation and hate to complete Final Fantasy 13, and I still have some left over to try and 100% that thing, or 100% for all the trophies.
Yeah. Okay, well,
I
since
just don't have
since
it
I
for Other
have
M.
since I have experience with hard mode, I can just go ahead and tell you what it is. It's basically the exact same game, except there are no items. None.
Well, that's okay. Missiles were pointless to begin with.
Just yeah, but like there's no if you understand what I'm saying here,
Yeah, I understand,
you don't
and
get
Wait, so
any
like
I already know how that works. It's just
no shine spark or like
you don't get like any upgrade items, like you just have
is the
zero
game even
energy and
possible then?
so you don't
it's
get no. I think he means like you
so
don't get any missile tanks or whatever.
yeah, like there's no findable upgrades. So you can't like upgrade your recharge time, you can't upgrade your missiles, you can't upgrade your E-tanks. You can't do anything like that.
Well, that's all right.
So
I could hardly
so
tell the
good
difference
luck.
in the first place.
So like I don't know, like after playing that a little bit, I I discovered that the original like normal mode, you know, that recovery thing, that whole concentration thing actually is not that bad comparatively. Like
It has
hard
caused me to die several times because there really is not that many. You really can't use it in a boss fight,
well, you can, it's just
except
they
for
made all of it
certain
really tight.
animations that they're doing in which they're doing absolutely
I
jack all.
I remember using it in boss fights.
I mean, I
Yeah.
used it in boss fights. It's just that I had to like. It's like more often than not, I would die either trying to do it or waiting to do it.
Hmm.
It was definitely hard to do like during boss fights, and I think that's an
Especially when,
intentional.
especially whenever you press the A button and oh look, Samus is in a morph ball mode now. Great.
Yeah.
I will say that I like the idea of being able to recharge health. Um, I I don't know if it really succeeded in this game.
It
I thought it was fine while playing it,
well, it
but
did if you got enough of those. What was it? E tanks, whatever,
Yeah, I
reserve
mean,
tanks.
I
yeah,
got I beat
But
the game 100% on normal, and I felt like when you had full upgrades at all times, like that they gave you, it wasn't too bad at all.
but yeah, but I think the main problem with it is that you have to be hurt enough in order for it to be used.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
yeah.
you
like
had to be low HP or
yeah,
something.
yeah. It's like without any of the upgrades, you had to be at 40 health or less. Which, when you're in
Well,
a middle of a
when you
boss
think
fight or
about it,
whatever,
Like
if they didn't do that, then you know, it's like what's to stop the player from just like
yeah, then you'd
doing
have to have like
well, I
recovery
mean,
be limited,
no,
and
I mean
then why
like
not just have
have it
yeah,
when you're on your last energy tank, not when you're pretty much dead. Because what I've tried several times before, and it's like, oh, well, I got hit, and I'm on
didn't didn't they
last.
have upgrades for your like peril energy? Like you could
yeah, they
do
made
it
it so you
at
can
higher levels of energy.
they made it so that when you concentrate, you regenerate more energy tanks. So if you got
Yeah.
concentration
Oh,
tanks,
more energy tanks. I thought it
yeah,
was that if you could do the concentration at it when you have more energy. I thought
no, I think
Well,
it
when you
I think
got
it was
the
an increased
upgrade,
recovery.
when you got the upgrades, it like increases the point at which you can actually perform concentration, as in addition to how many tanks you restore.
Yeah, I don't even remember anymore.
Yeah, hold on.
Whatever it was.
I probably have. I, oh wait, here we go. I've got the instruction booklet right here. Metroid Other M. Let's see. Anyway, while I'm decking about, well, what do you guys think of the game's difficulty? Which
I thought it was pretty
I
easy.
yeah, I thought
uh,
it was
I
fairly
got
easy.
frustrated during boss fights, and mainly because of the stupid
I
design
mean,
choices they chose.
the regular mode,
I think you cut out there.
hard mode was. Oh, sorry.
Uh,
Is my mic working
You might want to mess with it a little bit.
Oh my god. This fucking thing's just such a piece of shit.
Static.
Alright. How about now?
A little bit better.
A little bit better?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. God
Might have
damn.
to speak up a little though.
Okay.
Oh god.
What? Oh god, what? Did it fuck
There's-
up?
It's there. Maybe plug it, unplug it, and plug it. Professional video recording, ladies and gents.
This is horrible.
We know exactly what we're talking about too.
I fucking knew this was gonna happen like the whole time.
Oh, there we go. Hey.
Is it working now?
Oh, that's perfect.
Yes.
Jesus Christ, this thing is such a piece of shit. Anyways, like you don't even like the fucking wires are like literally exposed. Like
Well,
it's just
get
horrible.
a soldering iron then.
Exactly, I need a soldering kit. So bad.
Anyway, so let's see. E-recovery tank increases the amount of energy you can restore through concentration. The energy threshold required to make energy recovery possible will also increase. So yeah, how about that?
Yeah, so
So it
maybe,
actually did do both.
yeah,
Yeah.
I guess so.
Uh,
But in hard mode, you don't get any of those, so good luck.
like I said, concentration was terrible enough that even if I didn't have any of those special tanks, it would not make too much of a difference.
Maybe you just suck at games, bro.
Oh.
Bro. I have finished both 13 and 13-2. You do not know how much willpower it takes to not die of boredom from the first game and not have your mind explode from the sheer retardedness of the story from the second game. But yeah, I've actually played some hard games that people are like, "Oh my god, this is hard," but I was like, "Really?" Anyway.
Game hardness is hard to do.
But yeah, there were some boss fights that I found frustrating because it's like, well, alright, what am I supposed to do? Or that's not bullshit at all. Like
Yeah.
Ridley's fight. Ridley, okay, it was like, oh, fuck me. He's got this one move where he goes invincible for a while. And it took me probably 4 or 5 retries before I tried using super missiles on him while I was doing that.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, hey, did you know super missiles launch or break him out of that invincible phase? Thanks, game. I didn't know that because the way this game is set up, you don't let me learn how to use super missiles in different situations.
Well, I mean, I feel like that, is also an intended design, and I feel like it wasn't too bad because they were trying to go for, like, oh, let's try to figure out how to beat the bosses kind of feel, which is understandable.
Yeah,
I
but
think I messed up mostly because firing missiles is stupid in this
it
game.
is.
Yeah.
It really is. It's especially with the Queen Metroid fight. Holy shit, that was a terrible fight.
I think that was the one fight that I really got frustrated on because I would do things and it just wouldn't work.
But
Did you
anyway,
guys,
back
neither of you played Metroid 2, right?
unfortunately, I
played
have
it.
not.
You did?
I played it.
Then
have
why
not.
Yeah,
didn't
I
you
did.
know what to do, Mackerel? Jesus.
I did know what to do. It didn't work.
God damn.
Yeah, I
it's
know.
working.
Like, I knew you're in Metroid 2. You're supposed to shoot missiles at her, despite not having actually played the
No.
game.
Not at all. In Metroid 2, you shoot a missile at her, her face freezes, then you roll into a ball and go into her stomach and bomb the shit out of her.
You're still shooting missiles at her face somehow. In this, it
Yeah.
doesn't work. It's like you
do go
try
into her
shooting at
stomach
her.
and you're like losing health the whole time, and it's like not enough bombs in the world.
Yeah,
But
that's
anyway,
true.
anyway, before we talk about the Metroid Queen fight, that's another thing. But in regards to Ridley's fight, okay, the whole thing with super missiles, okay, in other Metroid games, it's like when you get a power up, they don't immediately like toss you in something unless its item is like the item's function and it's rather obvious.
Yeah.
Like, in fact, in most games, when you get an item, they usually give you like a short amount, like at least some amount of time to play with the item in different situations before they give you a boss fight. And the boss fight's like, okay, now do you really know how to use this item? In this, it's
Yeah.
just like, oh, Samus, use your super missile to blow open that wall there. and then oh fuck me, it's Ridley.
So was that
Well, it's like I don't understand. Like, what kind of play with the item thing would you have needed before this boss fight to
like how
understand?
long
Like-
between getting the super missile and Ridley? How far away were those two events? Because if you haven't used it,
Pretty
in a while,
much, it's like cutscene. It's like cutscene, get super missile, cutscene, Ridley. There's no actual gameplay in between.
Well, wouldn't that boss fight serve that purpose? I don't know. Like,
Well,
if you get
no,
if you get
because
an
you.
upgrade called super missiles, like I would just expect you to
Yeah, I
use
mean,
like super
yeah, you
missiles.
can fire. You. It's like oh, firing. It's like okay, let me try super missiles on Ridley. It's like okay, that's damaging him. And then oh, he's in his super form, and I'm shooting all my stuff at him, and it doesn't work.
Okay, well,
you're shooting
here's-
all your stuff and not the
But
super
I,
missiles.
the thing
Yeah,
is,
exactly.
the thing is, I never used super missiles when he was in his normal form because he was like moving fast and everything, and I wouldn't really have the time to actually
Okay,
use
okay.
missiles.
So here's the
without
main
getting hit
question.
Anyway.
Knowing now what you didn't know before, if you went back and fought him, would he be a hard boss?
Would he be a hard boss? No, because it's like as soon as I figured out you could
I would
use
say-
super missiles, he wasn't that hard. But it's
Okay.
like the
I-
main
I
problem
would
was is
disagree with
that
that. I would say yes.
I
Because
mean, even-
firing missiles is stupid.
even the
Because
part.
good call, Matt.
Well,
Girl.
yeah,
I like
the
that.
missile part was terrible, but
I like Matt
even
Girl's answer.
even if I did not know that, okay, I was getting frustrated at the fight and getting mad and everything because like I knew I could withstand those parts where he was invincible and attacking and everything, and I was getting to the point where like okay, I just needed him to drop his invincibility one more time and I would have beaten him,
Mhm.
but sense move and dodging and all this stuff just didn't work as advertised so that I could avoid all the attacks enough with enough health left over. And that's another thing. All the bosses in this game deal arbitrarily large amounts of damage.
Isn't
like-
that what bosses are supposed to do in video games?
No, I mean, it's
I don't
like
understand.
no.
Zelda, they do like one heart of damage.
Yeah, like you can
Yeah, but
predict.
this isn't Zelda, man.
No. Here's the thing. It's like you can predict about how much damage an attack will do. It's like, but in Other M,
You're
it's
saying
like,
it's not consistent.
yeah, it's really not consistent because I remember taking like, okay, 70 damage from an attack, and then next thing I know, the same attack's taken away like pretty much the entire energy tank.
It's like
It's
D&D. You just roll the dice.
It's like, thanks.
Yeah,
mean,
I don't know.
I mean, variable damage, okay, I can understand in an RPG or something influenced by an RPG. Here, it's just like, fuck.
Yeah, I didn't really pay attention to my energy enough to see like the same attack hit two different
No, I
damages.
just
so-
notice all sorts of little details when I'm playing these games. Speaking of which, alright, so I guess the next question is, what did you... This was something that, or speaking of the details, this is probably something you guys didn't pay too much attention to, but what did you think of the animation in this game?
The animation, as in like
Hmm.
what the characters looked at like during the cutscenes, or
No,
what
not during the cutscenes, during gameplay.
Oh, during
Because
game.
the thing that bugged me was Samus's run speed boost and jumping animations.
How so?
Yeah, how so?
Because I was watching Samus run, and it was like her body was just like moving so much, and she wasn't actually moving as fast as her movements or her animation would suggest.
Okay, so you're saying there was some kind of
It's like her
there's actually a term for this in animation. I'm not sure if you're aware, but this kind of like artifact it actually has a name for it, and that's when exactly as you're describing the animation of the thing is like slower or faster than the actual movement speed of the thing.
yeah.
And I just forgot the name. I know there's a name for it, but like I just don't know it off the top of my
Well,
head because I'm not an
Let's
animator.
just call it the Uncanny Valley.
Yeah, I
'cause
don't know
that's
about
usually
that.
an umbrella term for it.
Yeah,
But it's like-
I didn't notice it. Really.
Well,
Yeah,
If you ask me, the movements were not Metroid; they were Ninja Gaiden.
I didn't really pay attention enough to
Because
notice
those-
things like that.
The jumps Samus did, and the running and all that, I was thinking more Ryu Hayabusa than Samus Aran, really.
The jumping I can
Uh,
see, but doesn't Ryu move slower than that? Like his
Yeah,
feet move
but
slower than that?
he's got like, well, I don't want to say it's like he's got a lot of movement. It's like it's rather fluid and like rather kind of, it's really kind of difficult to describe. But it's like fluid and kind of deliberate.
uh,
And
well, I feel like in this game, like once again, in terms of like her movement and like jumping, especially in the air, I really felt like this game was like basically a 3D Metroid Fusion in terms of that. Like her jumping just felt like Metroid Fusion, so you couldn't like say for instance if you jump off a ledge, it was really difficult to like go back the same direction you were jumping from, like that stuff.
yeah,
Uh, little things like that added up, and it just made it feel a lot like Fusion. In terms of the actual animations, though, I didn't really find like little things like that were just off, and I'm not really sure how to compare this to Ninja Gaiden because I know the same studios, right? Like the
yeah, it was
Team Ninja.
yeah,
So
Team Ninja.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put it on the record. From my understanding, Team Ninja was only involved in the gameplay, and Nintendo was the ones mostly carrying out, the story and things like that.
Hmm.
So,
I remember hearing some stuff about this, and I'm not really entirely sure like what my sources were, but I know that there was a lot of interference with like what Team Ninja was doing. So
I
like
think I kind of heard something similar along those lines.
yeah, I just don't remember exactly what, so I can't really like just say for
Yeah,
sure.
and I know I have the Nintendo Power,
I
or
thought
I
it was
think I have the
mostly.
Nintendo Power for that, but I remember reading articles in regards to that.
Well, you probably know more than I would about that.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, if you ask me, it was like this was Ninja Gaiden with a Metroid skin.
One thing I just want to say is even though like
Space Ninja Gaiden.
yeah,
Pretty much,
I
it's like
mean,
they were making a Metroid game for about 5 minutes, and then they went to Ninja Gaiden.
well, just off the top of my head here, like even though I couldn't really like determine the details and like say for sure that this was like a little off or something on the animations and it looked like Ninja Gaiden or something,
Hmm.
the fact that you're saying that this is like a Ninja Gaiden in space, I wouldn't really personally take that as a bad thing, like because I
Well,
think
if,
it
Right.
you're,
I
suits
if
mean,
you
his
want a
character.
Metroid game, though, like
yeah. I
you don't.
mean, I guess that's one of my main problems with this game is because I was expecting Metroid, like more
I would say
along
the
the
same.
lines of like
I would say
Super
the same
Metroid.
thing. I would say that for like everything across the board, like not just the
Like,
gameplay, but also the
actually,
story and
no
the
joke. I was
character
thinking that
design.
I was legitimately thinking that I was like, okay, yeah, this is. I mean, I was like, yeah, this gameplay is challenging and everything, but this is not Metroid. This is Ninja Gaiden. I mean,
Well, okay, so in terms of that, like what you were expecting in terms of gameplay, I just want to like take a step back really briefly and just say that I'm a huge fan in terms of this series. I've played every game in the series. I
right,
own hard
right.
copies of every game, and I would say that my biggest like the things that I have like my roots are deeply sealed with are Super Metroid because I think just Super Metroid is like the ultimate video game.
Oh yeah,
And
it's just one of
It's
those
okay.
classics. Like everything's just in
yeah,
tune.
I'm just saying this like as a pretense. It's that's just my opinion.
Right.
And back in the day, when Metroid Prime came out, I just severely did not like Metroid Prime. I didn't like the first Prime. I definitely did not like the second one,
Yeah, Second
and
Prime was kind of a
I
downer.
like the
the
second
third
Prime.
the third one I didn't like either. And a
Third
lot
one
of
was
the,
alright.
in retrospect, I feel like a lot of the reason why I didn't like those games was for some of the some of what you're saying right now. I was like, this does not feel like a Metroid game. My definition of a Metroid game was Super Metroid,
Yeah.
and when I went in to play Prime, I was like, I'm not feeling it. This is not Super Metroid. This is basically shit.
Right. Right. I
But
mean,
But now, like, I can respect that game for what it brought to the series. It brought something new to the table. It made the game like more unique. Like, it got some like fresh gameplay in. It added stuff to the series that was in a good light. Maybe it wasn't to my liking at the time, but it was pretty good. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to go on record in saying that you are probably not the only one to say this in the Metroid fandom. In fact, I'm
Yeah, I
pretty
would
sure
be
there's a
surprised.
good chunk of people who would agree with you.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. But really, if you ask me, okay, I enjoy the Metroid Prime games, and I'm of the opinion that even the first Metroid, or first Metroid Prime, it is a very good-looking game that can stand up to today's graphics, but I'm probably not as big a graphics whore as other people. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't really give a shit about graphics. That's not really my thing.
So, which brings us to the next question: what do you guys think of the game's graphics? Because if
I just cut
that's
out.
one of the better things I like about this game is that it actually does have good-looking graphics for the Wii.
It
Oh,
did a really good job with the hardware. That's all I gotta say.
well,
Those
I don't
graphics.
know. I think that's kind of like backhanded remark saying for the Wii. I mean,
I'm gonna be honest. I just even though like
I thought
every
the graphics were pretty there. They existed, like, and they didn't look ugly.
well
yeah.
in terms of what you just said, you can't really deny the fact that the Wii is the weakest hardware
Well,
of most
yeah,
modern
but
consoles.
it's also kind of like it's almost like this is like on a different level. Don't yeah. But it's
It
like
I mean, you have to note that like
yeah, I
a
guess.
game like that isn't gonna look like the PS3 like Ninja Gaiden series or something.
Yeah.
Like that's definitely never gonna happen. But I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying it looks good. So it really like challenged the hardware to like bring it up to speed with what it had to offer. That's what I was trying to say. I wasn't trying to like diss the Wii or anything
Yeah,
like
no.
that.
I mean, it's like it's kind of hard to say, something about graphics and the Wii without saying, it looks good for the Wii. I mean, it's just how it sounds. It's just like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
it's
mean,
good for the Wii.
I'm not like I'm getting this kind of vibe that you might be like a Wii fanboy or something,
Well,
but
okay, you gotta understand. Okay, it's like my first major console that I played to death was the Super Nintendo, and I've had nothing but Nintendo consoles up until like last few years. Where like last year I became a PS3 owner, and like a few months before that, I actually bought myself a PSP to play Monster Hunter with friends.
right, right.
So, yeah.
Well, I mean, I go back to the NES. The NES was like
Oh yeah,
my
I've got my own NES now.
yeah, and like I'm super into that, like all to the point where I do homebrew development on that system,
Oh really?
and yeah, it's
Actually,
pretty fucking awesome.
go ahead, take a few moments to advertise while Mako, tries to improve his internets.
Yeah, like that shit. That shit's pretty hot. Like, just like I got into the whole scene with the assembly and everything, the 2A03 architecture, and the whatever chipset that uses, and it's just a really interesting, fulfilling experience. And I'm actually currently considering starting a project
Yeah.
to get a C compiler for the NES. Um, and I have a friend who's also interested in that over at my university, and I was talking to him earlier last semester about it, and he's also, kind of down for that. So it may be at some point that I will release a C compiler with, obviously some kind of development library for the NES.
Oh, that's cool. Do you have like a
Um,
website or anything going on, or
uh, this is all in the idea phase right now.
yeah?
Like because I'm currently doing other stuff. Like I'm a game development enthusiast in
Yeah.
my spare time. So
Well, cool
So,
beans.
my internet cut out for like
Oh,
half a second it
don't
does
worry,
that.
we noticed.
Well, yeah,
We noticed.
we're just doing like a background thing, so everyone knows.
Basically, we're talking about the. We were kind of like, okay, good graphics for the Wii, and we were kind of discussing, okay, should
Yeah,
we really be saying for the Wii and all
yeah,
that?
I immediately got the feel that I might have insulted a Nintendo
No,
fanboy or
no, no,
something.
no. You don't. I'm not even like,
No.
okay. I was 13 and on the internet once. Okay, believe me, console wars. I'm done with console wars for now.
I mean, I just wanted to say that, like, on top of your story, that I'm probably a bigger Nintendo fan than anybody here,
Yeah.
and like
Oh no, you
I
didn't. I mean,
yeah,
what?
and then and then like I
Yeah.
you know I actually the funny thing about this is like up until where I got the Wii, I actually got I couldn't get the Wii when it first launched. So Fred, I got Fred to wait in line for me, and he picked up his Wii, and then I got my Wii, like, from him. I got him to fucking wait in line in the morning during a school day, and
This might.
oh
I,
yeah.
ha- I hate to interrupt now, but it just now struck me. Okay, I hope you don't mind that. Okay, since I'm actually recording, the Skype call area that your first and last name is actually showed up.
Oh, well, I don't give a shit. Fuck the police.
Well, they have their name or have your
We're
name
coming
now.
for you, Kyle.
Hey, bring it on.
Yeah, I mean, like, I actually record these and put these on YouTube, so.
Well,
Just
whatever.
saying.
Kyle, who are you on
He is
Vinesauce?
Super Saiyan Metroid.
As-
Oh,
You cannot comprehend. Like, he's a level above Omega Metroid.
this is power maximum.
It's over 9,000.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Let's get
9,000.
all the memes going here.
Yeah, but yeah, like
Yeah.
anyway,
Sorry to interrupt.
back to what I was saying,
Yeah,
like, just as, a backstory here is, I definitely was hyped for the Wii at one point in my life, and like I just didn't really think it fulfilled my hopes and dreams. So I'm not all too attached to it. So if I somehow could, say something like that that's like has the undertone of like insulting it, it might
Yeah.
actually be subconscious.
Yeah.
So
They came out with a Monster Hunter for it. I'm happy.
well,
Oh, and another thing you might have missed, Mako, while you were out. Kyle,
Yes.
or Super Saiyan, whatever name he prefers to go by these days.
Super Saiyan, Metroid.
All right.
Yeah.
He was also promoting, or well, I wouldn't say promoting, but he was also regaling us on the fact that he's also rather interested in, doing some amateur development for the NES himself,
Uh-huh.
along with some friends. So
That sounds
yeah.
cool.
I guess we should move on to the next question, or around the questions. Don't worry, we're getting down there. Let's see. All right. I guess these are wrap-up questions because the next one is, what do you think are the strongest points to this game?
I would say the strongest points of this game are the gameplay sequences that do not involve first person.
I would second that.
And yeah, I don't know. I feel like in terms of the Metroid
Yeah.
mechanics in this game, their implementation of the item finding in this game was to my liking. As in, like, even though there was nothing like a power bomb thing to find shit or like X-ray visor, they had
Yeah.
that thing where you defeat all the enemies in the room and you like find all the items there on the map.
Yeah, I guess I kind of like that, but then again, that's kind of like, okay. Then again, I've never been one of those guys who actually, played Metroid to do those 100% and complete runs. I know I'm a horrible bastard for not doing those, etc., etc.
Well,
But
that's not always the case, and for Metroid players,
yeah, I know.
there's
I know,
different
son. It's all about them
tiers.
2% runs, man.
Yeah.
Fuck that noise.
There's any percent, there's low percent, there's 100%, there's like I don't
Haven't
know.
they come out with like a 0% run for some of them?
I'm
I
sure
think
they.
those might be impossible on some.
Well, those kinds of runs are always categorized as quote low percent because it's just the lowest possible percent that you
Yeah.
can
Yeah,
manage.
because I think there are some that you literally cannot avoid getting.
Yeah. Like I know you can beat Zero Mission just from getting the first missile tank and that's it, but that qualifies as a non-zero percent.
Let's see. What do I think are the strongest gameplay points? And that's actually kind of hard to say because it's like, okay, I just have all these, little heartburns in regards to Other M. It's kind of hard to like put that aside and say, all right, what was good about it? Uh, hmm. I'm gonna have to agree with you. Okay, other than like the actual, straight up gameplay and like in between rooms and such, that's all right. Uh,
Obviously,
the graphics are also good.
aside from the shit where like you're trying to jump on their head and it's not doing
Oh,
the
fuck
finisher.
that noise. I mean, it even got outdated once you got the screw attack. It's like once you got the screw attack, it was like you couldn't do that anymore.
Yeah.
All right, now for the obvious follow up. What are the weakest points besides the baby?
The baby. Oh my god. If I hear that phrase one more time, I will kill a bitch.
All right. I think you can make a drinking game out of that. It's like, okay, what was it? What are the two terms that showed up? It's like the baby, and there was something else that she kept constantly talking about. Was it
Uh,
Adam? I want to
it
say
might
it's
have been
Adam.
Adam
Yeah, it's like
because she
take
was
a
pretty
shot.
obsessed
Take
with
a shot
Adam.
when. Oh wait, no, authorized. Take a shot.
Authorized, yeah.
Take a shot whenever someone mentions the baby or authorized. And you know what? Let's throw in Adam because I'm pretty sure she said his name several times before. So yeah, take a shot whenever you hear the baby, authorized, or Adam.
In terms of that, actually, going back to the subject of, uh, like the power up system in this game,
Yeah.
I do think it's good to note that at that one particular part of the game, it was very refreshing to see Samus like suddenly have like a change of attitude and be like, "Fuck the police.
Yeah,
I'll
but
do my upgrades on my
if
own,
you
bitch."
ask me,
No scope 420 shines
they
fucking
missed
every
a
day,
perfect
motherfucker.
opportunity to like meld gameplay and story in one in regards to the Varia suit. The Varia suit activation was like the stupidest thing
It
ever.
was possibly the dumbest thing in the world,
But
but
That
okay, if
was
you ask me,
yeah.
I could have improved that just perfectly, and it would have went along with the story,
dude,
regardless how stupid it was. Okay,
you know why they did that. You know why they made
why?
so that like, well, because like they saw how people were all like flustered and shit over the other Metroid games when you could when they had superheated rooms and shit that you could go into but you weren't supposed to, and then they thought that, oh well, if we force the player to go through these superheated rooms without heat protection, it'll make them excited and shit about it.
Well,
Like, oh
they could have
yeah,
had it both ways, easy. It's
I
like,
know.
okay, here's the thing. Here's how I would have improved it. I would have had Samus go through, the first couple of superheated rooms, without the various suit, and okay, and then just like have her activate the various suit on her own, and that would go along with the rebellious spirit they wrote her character
No, dude,
as well as
she's
thumbing her nose at Adam for being all uptight about being authorized. But in the end, Adam wouldn't be able to say anything against it because okay, he knew that she knew that he knew
she was in
whatever.
fucking
That pretty
danger.
much that's the only thing you need to use, or that's the main thing you need to use in this zone.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Like
he
there
couldn't
was
say anything against it
the
if
whole
she
point.
activated it herself.
The whole point of like those items not being authorized was like under the pretense that if they used like those items or whatever or those like abilities, then there would be some kind of repercussion to it. That they would have
Like
to.
the only thing that they said they couldn't use was the power bomb because apparently it would rip the station apart.
No, dude, they said it would like disintegrate human beings.
Pretty much,
That's what
they.
they
I
said.
think he literally gave the reasons like, okay, it destroys. It's like it goes through pretty much everything, including common safety materials or whatever. So
He
whatever.
basically
and
said
destroys the station. Like that was.
Well, I
They,
guess.
they excused the
Why
power
not?
bombs and like nothing else.
But yeah,
well,
we
they
could.
also have the
And
same
everything else is like Samus just says, "I don't want to make trouble."
they had the
And
same excuse with the plasma weapons or any of the weapons actually.
It's like, oh, hey, it's trapped, and you're trying to figure out what the hell to do, and your weapons have no effect. Hey, Samus, you know what? I decided to authorize that for you. Have fun, you little scamp.
Yeah.
ugh.
Nope.
Also, one of the weakest points is that, okay, it's some of the.
Why did the suits even need to be turned off? They weren't hurting anyone.
Exactly.
They're not
That's
weapons.
You
that's
know what?
exactly
I never
what
thought
just
about that
talking
before.
about.
Now that you mention it, why the hell did she turn it all off?
That's exactly the point. I thought that's what we
was
were
like-
just talking about.
Wait a minute. Yeah,
None of-
seriously,
none
I
of
did
her
not
equip-
think of that before.
No.
Despite it,
None of her equipment, aside from her weapons, like even maybe her bombs and screw attack, those things.
okay, screw attack. Yeah, I can see her accidentally harming
Like
someone.
I said, the only thing they specifically condemn is the power bombs, and those don't really do anything anyway. Once you get to the after part of the game,
Yeah, pretty much.
Even then.
yeah.
Well, I mean, there's obviously the risk of like killing
Oh,
people.
I
back.
love the fact. Oh, all right. I love the fact that
Oh,
okay,
okay,
she used her
people.
missiles in a cutscene, and then she was like, "Oh crap! I might have offended him because I used it and he didn't authorize it, despite me being an independent bounty hunter. And I came across these guys on a station.
Oh my god. Yeah.
And suddenly
Actually,
now
in
we're a
Japan, I
part of
don't
the
think-
squad. Yeah.
In Japan, I don't think she's a bounty hunter. I think that was an American edition.
No, I'm pretty
No?
sure she's a bounty hunter regardless where you
I
go.
don't-
Yeah, because I remember like in the development of Metroid Prime, the Japanese guys came over to Retro to see how things were going, and they saw that Samus could take on bounties in the game, and they were like, "No, she's not like that." And the Retro guys were like, "She's not," and I was like,
Well, I
Your
think that may have been
communications.
more for gameplay and whatnot.
Dude, I'm pretty sure that in all of the Metroid games, she's portrayed as a bounty hunter.
Yeah.
"Well, that's what it says in the text," but like,
Well, I've got Google. Let me look this shit up. Samus Bounty Hunter. Typing what I'm talking what I'm typing. So yeah, let's see. You guys can still talk. I'm just looking stuff up.
So how about that Metroid Other M?
Oh,
Yeah.
don't worry, we're not even done yet, man. We
Yeah.
we still got. I'm pretty sure there's more than just like okay, the power ups that are the weakest points. Okay, I'm pretty sure you guys can find something like that missiles using the missiles.
we've already said the missiles sucked.
Yes,
Yeah,
using the
that
missiles
was-
suck.
Just-
What else? What else did I say? Oh, concentration can also go die. What else? Oh, missile tanks. Like all the upgrades you can find in the game just don't feel that great to get. I mean,
Oh,
energy.
you know what? You know what? Like they had those energy tanks, and they were like 1/4 of an energy tank.
Yeah, it's like why?
yeah, I don't really get that either.
It was like to spread out the game, I think.
Yeah.
Like,
Plus, I really dislike the fact that, well, it's kind of
weren't there,
weird
like,
because
exactly 100 power ups in that game, or like
I
a
don't
certain. even
Oh, you're
number-
slipping, man. You're
something.
slipping. You're not the biggest Metroid fan I ever knew. If you don't know
Dude,
this,
Other M, are you fucking serious? This isn't even a Metroid game. That's like condemning for not knowing like what's on the third level of Metroid Prime Pinball.
You don't know what's on the third level of Metroid Prime Pinball?
Did you know
What
I
is wrong with you?
actually own a copy of that game? Fred
I
gave
was
it to
actually
me.
considering getting that because it's like I knew it wasn't a Metroid game. I knew that, but it had the Rumble Pack, and I love Pokemon Pinball.
Fred got me that game as a birthday present.
Yeah.
I got this for. He was just like, "Hey, I got something for you." I'm like, "Oh shit, maybe he got me some cool swag." Open that shit. It's fucking Metroid Prime Pinball. I like shot myself in the face.
Friendship ruined.
Well,
I have half of a face now.
What was
well,
the story
what
of
is,
that
then
game?
what's your thoughts on Metroid Prime Hunters?
Metroid Prime Hunters was the worst game ever. It's worse than Other M. I don't care what you say.
I don't know. I was actually played some multiplayer on that. Like,
Well, maybe the multiplayer is all right. Like it's
yeah,
pretty fun.
but it was
It's
kind of
I
dicks
mean, you could say that
because.
for like any game. Any game is fun to play with people.
Well, yeah.
It's
I mean, I know it was actually kind of dicks because okay, all I could use was Samus because I didn't actually own the game and we
oh
were doing
yeah,
a
yeah.
single cart and so it was like me and some other guy were using Samus and the guy who actually owned it was like, oh, how about that? I got this character. So yeah,
Yeah, well, I mean, I couldn't really say I didn't really get into the multiplayer that much,
yeah,
but in terms
uh,
of the single player, like the campaign was a joke. It was just like horrible.
yeah. I know, but it's non-canon, so feel better about that.
Yeah, pretty.
Unlike other
Yeah, the
oh fuck me.
direct sequel to Super Metroid, the greatest game ever made.
Uh, well, they had to karmically balance it out, so hopefully all the negativity that went into this game that won't affect the next game that comes out if they make another one.
Look, this is the gambler's paradox all over
Uh,
again.
You,
The
you don't
bad
like
luck has
Other
not
M?
run
I
its
guess
course.
people don't like Metroid anymore.
Yeah, right.
Oh fuck me! I hope it doesn't go down to that. One other weak point about this
Dude,
game.
that is actually like honestly like we have to bring that up because
Yeah.
I saw an article like a couple years back. I don't know if it still exists or not, but it was just like the title was really disturbing to me, and I'm pretty sure that it said something to the effect of Nintendo doesn't understand why Metroid Other M didn't do so well in America. And and I saw that and I was like, "Are you
You know
fucking
what? Let me
serious?"
Google that. See if I can find
I
it.
I swear to God, I'm not making this up. This is something that I actually saw. It was like an article on the internet about the development game, of the game.
How did
Uh,
Japan like this game? Does
I
anyone know?
don't know. I have no idea.
That's a good question because I don't think there was nearly as much backlash there as it was here.
And like if you find this article, like tell me because I really want to like read that over again. It was like I just remember the title really vividly, and I remember being incredibly disturbed by just that. Like, how do you? It's like
Japan
how
likes their submissive kawaii waifus.
yeah, exactly. And I'm just like
Oh
I
seriously,
hope I
God!
hope I'm just being
Oh
racist
God!
here.
You just showed me a horrible future.
dude,
I don't want
future.
to see that anymore.
It's been happening ever since like fucking Fusion.
Oh,
Like,
No,
no, no, no.
Fusion. She was still strong in that one.
No, even no, dude. Ever since even fucking Super Metroid, it's been happening. Did you know Samus
What do you
like
mean by
has
Super Metroid? Because there's like
dude,
nothing.
it's the gradual like degradation of her character. The original Samus wasn't like this kawaii ugu waifu character. She was like this rough and tough like lady heroine with like brown curly hair or like wavy or whatever you want to say, and she was she had like a fit body but like not like fucking waifu
So how did that go
proportions.
downhill on Super Metroid? Because
It
fuck me.
you
I
look at the
remember
progression now.
I remember in Metroid Prime, like Samus takes off her helmet and she's like she's got her hair pulled back and she looks like some American person. And then at the
Well,
end of at the end of Metroid Prime 2, she's got like this plastic hair and the Zero suit. And
yeah,
it's,
well,
Alright.
her face is all weird.
you
And
can definitely see that in the Prime series, most definitely. But like, if you just trace the history of what she looks like in every game, and if I lined it up for you, you would immediately.
Actually, I think I showed Rev a picture of that once, like the picture of all the ending sprites for Samus.
Yeah, she was originally like you could tell that the
I don't
Metroid.
know. Okay, other than changing the hair color, she's been pretty much the same up until like
What? No,
yeah,
absolutely
yeah.
not.
Yeah,
No,
she has, man.
she was attractive, but she didn't have the same proportions.
Dude,
Not at all.
that's that's
Dude,
around Super Metroid, man.
dude, look at Super Metroid. She has well, you can't see like really you can't compare anything behind Super Metroid because the graphics just are bad. But you can tell like from hair color and just like, whatever they show in the game manual or
Well,
like
I think
comic.
hair color for like the NES one, I think they kind of retconned that because of
So
maybe
so so wait,
limited
some
hardware.
some hair colors are worse than other hair colors. Is that
She had brown hair as well as green hair in that game, so I won't even touch on that.
I'm thinking
I
that's more
remember Samus
hardware
being blonde at
limitations.
the end of Super Metroid.
Yes, Samus was blonde at the end of Super Metroid, but what you really have to pay attention to is the fact that she's not wearing like this two-piece bikini. I don't think. I think it's like something else.
It's
It's like
actually a
this
one
sort of
piece. It's a
Yeah,
one piece
she
uniform.
sort of
and
like
then
this.
if you look,
She's got one piece or one piece swimsuit, and she's got kind of like those punk spikes going on.
yeah, and then if you look at her
Oh.
body proportions, she's got like this muscular, like really physically fit thing, but not like
Yeah,
not
because this is a chosen Chozo warrior talking
yeah,
about, man.
exactly. But then if you look at the newer Metroid games, she looks nothing like that. It's just goes downhill. Like she's
Jesus
got
Christ, dude. You know what? I honestly never thought about that before. It's like, now that you guys mention it, it's like, holy cow.
yeah, it's pretty consistent, dude. Like every single game, it just gets worse.
I mean,
and
Fusion kind of toned down the fitness a little bit, but it was still there.
yeah,
But after that, Jesus Christ.
after Fusion, they just lost all control and they just gave in to the like
The
fucking-
something. That
yeah,
caused her.
I don't know. I
the
mean,
fucking Ugu Kawaii.
what about Prime? I mean,
Prime-
did they
Prime
follow the
was a-
same?
Prime was a second party studio.
Yeah, but
Prime was in
didn't
Retro
Prime
Studio,
follow the
yeah.
same design for Fusion?
Not at first. Like
Not at all. They had like their own thing going on, and then like as time went on, like it just degraded, as Mackerel was saying.
Well, I think that actually covered the third final question I was gonna ask. Well, second to last question I was gonna ask, and that was problems with the dev team. And I think we kind of hit on that throughout this, little discussion here. So the last part I would like to talk about, and I actually have quite a few notes here. How would you improve this game?
I guess this is basically recap mode because I feel like we've gone over a lot of things that we would do.
Yeah,
to
I
get
guess.
better. So step one, remove all sentences that include the baby.
Then
Step-
there wouldn't be
I
any
think removing
speaking
all
parts in
sentences
this
would be a
game.
good start.
Yeah, removing all sentences. Completely redo the voice acting.
Yeah,
in terms
like,
in terms of
fire
gameplay.
the people who said, okay, don't add emotion.
Well, they're obviously.
Oh, that's another thing.
horrible.
One particular thing that I quote unquote loved is how, okay, they would say things to each other and do things, and then when Samus did her monologue, she said the exact things that just happened.
I think I know what you're talking about.
It's like,
Yeah,
like,
I don't
okay,
know, man.
it was like to the point where it's like, okay, what if this guy was eating like, his lunch, whatever, and it's like, and then he told me that he was eating a ham sandwich on on white with Swiss cheese and brown mustard. Oh, fuck me. Anyway, so improvements, because I'm waiting for you guys to get out of the way before I do all my shit. Because most of this is just stuff I had problems with during the game.
Like-
Dot, dot, dot.
Well, the first thing that I would think of improving is the story, and we basically sort of decided not to talk about that.
Yeah, because it'd be
Yeah.
too easy to talk about all that.
But like, there's one thing that I'm sort of not clear on. Like the part where Samus just breaks down when Ridley appears.
No one
like-
really understood that part.
Like Jesus Mod said that she didn't know he was he didn't know he would be there. But I remember like it being pretty obvious that Ridley was going to show up then, and I don't know if that was like foreshadowing of the narrative or like if it would be possible if Samus actually knew that. But like he it turns out that you go through like the stages of Ridley evolution, and like
Um,
I'm wondering, since I haven't played this game in a while, at what point did it become apparent that Ridley was on the ship? I guess.
so my mic's really.
Yeah, kind of figured that there. Don't worry, I'm about to bust out my little monologue, so. Yeah, I think you're out.
Fuck. God damn.
Oh, almost had him
Uh,
there.
okay, so is it working right now?
Getting there. Oh, I'll just go ahead and go on with my stuff. I guess while you're fixing your mic there. Let's see. Oh, I guess I already covered the speed booster part before,
Well, like
and the bosses. One thing that
All right.
struck me as odd is. Oh, there you go.
God damn it.
One thing that struck me as odd is the rather lack of is like rather sheer lack of enemy variety in this game, because they would be using like the same
Yeah.
mini bosses in like all the zones and such.
Well, they also just a lot of the enemies and stuff they were ripping off of Fusion anyway. So
Yeah,
I mean, right away you don't have a lot of variety there.
yeah.
so.
Yeah, I covered
I
about.
hate
Go ahead.
I hate to bring this back to the story again, but do you like going back to my question from before? Do either of you remember like when it was apparent that Ridley was there, like on the spaceship?
Okay, so in terms of that, I feel like I have to go right out and say like everything that they did with Ridley in this game was horrible and wrong.
Well, I'm not
And
disagreeing with that. Like, and that's not really what I'm asking. I'm asking like
Yeah,
when.
I don't exactly like. I mean, to be honest, I was kind of spoiled in regards to the Ridley part.
I had
So-
no fucking idea he was even in the game until they told you like or wait, no. I think I
Okay, when
kind
did
of
they tell
hinted
you? When did they tell you?
I
Or,
think
like,
I
when did they hint at it?
I think
the
I
game?
got it. I think I got the hint when he went through like his second quote unquote transformation, and he went from being that like little fucking thing to like the big fucking thing that's like in between the two.
And like that was in a cutscene, right? And Samus was narrating that.
Yeah, it was
she?
like I think it was like after a boss fight or something. And
Yes.
you-
So she. It sounded like she. Fuck. Was that? Oh, who cares?
I can't
Yeah,
remember.
It's,
I don't even
I
remember
just-
that scene. Period.
I just don't even fucking like the whole idea of having Ridley being like evolving from this little pissant thing. Like I don't like. What were they
Well,
thinking?
you know, man, you gotta sell those plushies. I mean, kids just want to play with
Oh my
Ridley.
God, please, no.
Wait,
I
I want to
go
see.
on
I want to see
Google-
if that's a thing.
If I type
Wait, hold
Ridley
on, hold on.
into Google Images,
Ridley plushies.
no. Please, God, no.
Well, there was someone on. Let's see, Meta Ridley plushie. That's on DeviantArt. Super Metroid plush doll on YouTube.
If there is that little white furball fucker
Wait,
thing,
hold on. I demand a Ridley plushie. Spoilers from Metroid Other M message boards
No.
on GameFAQs.com for the week.
No.
Someone demands. Someone demands it. Someone
My life
demands
is
a Ridley
over.
plushie.
My life is over. Everything is terrible.
That is the saddest thing ever. Knowing that someone somewhere likes
Oh,
something terrible.
fuck me. So yeah, gotta get them Ridley plushies, bro.
I'm gonna destroy everything.
Oh, fuck me. All right, go. I'm just gonna go ahead and run through my list real quick of improvements.
Go.
Let's see. I
Wait a
already talked
second.
about bosses. I already talked about speed booster. Already talked about sense move working whenever the fuck it feels like it. Run jump animations. This game wants to be fusion fails.
Yeah.
I wrote down
You-
various suit authorized. Let's see. Oh, one missile from a missile tank. But then again, I found
What?
missiles to be useless, so I guess.
Well, good
You
luck
could
in hard
also.
mode.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, the missile tanks only give you one missile. So it's
I
like,
remember that, but you could also regenerate missiles.
yeah, but it's like,
That thing.
it's like,
But like the whole
real.
missile concept was just broken
It
Yeah,
was
I
it
mean,
was
it was like,
by the final build. So
I was like, but it was like, it's like, really, I busted my ass trying to find this hidden thing just for one? I mean,
yeah,
granted, you didn't find all the missile tanks, or,
I
you know,
feel like
on a normal
honestly,
playthrough, you don't find all the missile tanks. Just,
basically a lot of your complaints I feel are, and they're rightfully so, are based off of the fact that from my perspective, I really think that the people who were in charge of the game design were trying to force the player to integrate with the concentration system as part of the game. They wanted
yeah.
you to use it. They wanted it to be part of the game. They wanted it to be like you have to concentrate
But
every like
here's the
30
thing.
seconds.
You never needed something like that before in a Metroid game.
I
You had
know.
recovery
That's
items. You
exactly
had
it.
reserve tanks. You had straight up little enemies you could blow up during a fight or whatever to regain your stuff.
Yes, they took something and then they tried to make something new out of it, and it just didn't really. It wasn't well executed. And in fact, one might argue that it's
You cut out.
it's imp- but yeah,
okay.
they took
All right, there you go.
something that wasn't broken
Yeah,
and made a new thing that did not do well.
yeah. Well, yeah. Like I just said before, I cut out. One might
Yeah.
argue that it might not even be possible to integrate something like that in this type of game.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, one of my suggestions would be to use the B trigger for concentration. The B trigger is not used anywhere else in this game. It would be perfect to have a dedicated button just for concentration instead
Uh,
of having it overlap with a morph ball.
yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like I feel like 90% of concentration was broken because of the motion thing, like
Yeah.
I
pointing
don't
your
think
controller.
any Nintendo games that use that NES style Wiimote control actually use the V trigger. Now that I think about it,
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
it's
understand.
weird.
Yeah, because I mean, it's not like it's
It's
out
kind
of
of
the
awkward
way.
to
It's
push,
just,
but
in
like
fact, okay,
It's not out
I've
of
got
the
a
way
Wii
at
remote
all.
in my hand right now, and my one of my fingers literally rests on the trigger. So it's like, why didn't they think about that button?
They clearly did not anticipate this during game testing.
Uh, let's see. Well, I think I got like one last thing that I didn't cover before.
can't believe they said to take the
Uh,
emotion out of her voice.
oh,
It just
no, it's like I can't remember if it was like either no invincibility frames or the recovery time is like insanely or insanely low, so that it leads to occurrences where you're constantly taking hits and you have no choice but to take those hits despite all your
Yeah, I don't.
ability to do so. Because I ran into several times where I died because I was pretty much just getting, Mango Sentinel or Wombo Comet or whatever whatever
Daddy
combo
Falco.
me, whatever combo meme you want to use. Like basically, I was being juggled in air or being smacked around.
Yeah, I don't really remember that too well. I feel like it's been pretty long time since I played this game.
Yeah. Well,
So
I'm just gonna warn anyone who watches this and you as well. Don't play this game. Please don't. Just watch Let's Plays of it, but whenever it comes to a cutscene, skip over that.
what I would say is if you're a Metroid fan, as I am, and you force yourself beyond any and all doubt to play every Metroid game, as I will because I'm a sucker, then pretend that this game isn't a Metroid game. And even
Yes.
more so, just as hard as you can, pretend that not direct sequel to the greatest game ever made. Just please don't.
Yeah. And I would also say to the people who have played this before and have completed it, don't replay it. just it's not worth it. It is not worth it to unlock
Yeah.
hard mode. I
God.
feel sorry for you for having
I think
actually done
I
that.
think anyone who played this once wouldn't want to replay
You know,
it. Like,
you know what's really fucked up though? Like
Yeah.
after this entire thing, I feel like replaying it just to experience all this bullshit one more
oh
time.
god, no.
Why?
Why would
Why
you
would you
feel
do
that
that to
way?
yourself?
Because I'm curious. I just want to know. Like,
Maybe
I
this
just
wasn't. Maybe this whole, discussion series thing I'm doing is worth it. Cause okay, so far I've done bad or mostly, gameplay bad games.
So
What-
next you
I-
do
I-
a good game and everyone can circle jerk over it,
well, no,
grab
because
each other's dicks, and then
no, because
pull
Mr.
long
Link,
and hard.
Mr. Link from the last video after we were done recording, he's like, we were talking about Sonic, like here and there. I think during the recording and then afterwards we were like, oh, hey, so yeah, I'm kind of thinking about the next ones, or next series after this one, and he was like, well, okay, once you're done with the Metroid one, maybe about Sonic. I was like, oh, you know what? I was actually thinking about doing that, and the game would be Sonic the Hedgehog,
Yeah.
or Sonic the Hedgehog 4.
oh yeah, they
Why
did
am I?
come out with that, didn't they?
Yeah, they came out with that. Came out with
I
episode
fucking
1,
forgot
and
all about that. How was that game?
Silence.
I guess silence is the best.
Oh, there's
description.
a noise.
it's a Sonic game. Make of that as you will.
A 2D Sonic game or a 3D?
It's a
Sonic
2D.
game?
It's a 2D Sonic game in the same vein as the platformers on Genesis,
Oh man.
complete with homing attack and new physics.
Oh, new
Yes,
physics.
yes,
Oh,
and I am saying this with gritted teeth.
new physics.
And a smile because it's a fun game. I mean, it's not like absolutely bad. I mean, there are worse Sonic games, but
Dude, wasn't there one where like Shadow had a gun and he was
There-
like
there
shooting?
was-
I
I
must
just
stream
streamed the whole
that
fucking
to
thing.
completion. 100%.
And wasn't there one where like Sonic
Oh my
was a
God.
werewolf?
Yes,
Did that happen?
both those games happened.
I take
But this
back
is
everything
about
I said.
Metroid. We are talking about Metroid.
I take back everything
Shut
bad.
the
I said about
Hedgehog even happened. It was like,
But yeah,
Dark
so
Edge, and
I
it
guess
was
this is.
or it was like all campy at the same time.
I guess this is a hint. I
At
guess this is a
least-
hint to people who are watching this that the next series is going to be about Sonic.
At least Samus was not a werewolf. I'm gonna go right.
Yes. Samus is not a werewolf in Static. I feel sorry for you, but no.
I swear to God, after this, I'm like just going to buy a new microphone like
Yeah.
immediately. This thing's a piece of shit.
Well, any other thoughts in regards to Metroid, just like in general? Doesn't have to be Other M.
Super Metroid is the greatest game ever made, and that's it.
That's cool. Mako, got any last thoughts?
No.
Anyone want to plug something while they're at it?
Did you want to graze over the other games in the series and do some kind of comparison there?
Well, I mean, I don't know, because I think it's kind of, I don't know, because it's like, it really, when you have, like, such a shining example in your series, like Super Metroid, that's objectively perfect, then...
It's okay.
Fuck you. Greatest game ever made, hands
That's
down.
fun.
Yeah. I don't know, because it's like, maybe I'll do some of the other Metroid games someday. Like, I'm planning to
You
turn
know what you
these...
should do? You
I'm-
should play this really great game. It's called Metroid Prime Pinball.
Dude, I told you, I was considering
if-
when that thing came out. I was like, okay, I see it. I saw it for like a decent price one time. I was like, you know what? I might consider getting that because it looked
No.
fun.
No.
It looked...
Dude, I have to know. I have to know, what is the plot for Metroid Prime Pinball?
There is no plot, is there?
There's you're a ball, right? And you get launched
Yeah.
into this thing where you collect points. That's the plot.
Points.
Okay, so you know what's really odd about that game? you can actually fire lasers as Samus
Yeah, I read about that in
in the
Nintendo
game.
Power.
You can actually shoot things in that game. It's not just pinball.
Oh, I
Like
guess that's one thing we gotta plug is
It's
Nintendo
not
Power.
just pinball.
it's not. Yeah. No, I was playing this game because I expected.
Oh god! Oh god! I just thought of something. Okay, imagine this. Imagine this. Pinball with Call of Duty.
No. Yeah, right now. No. No. Get
Do
the
you
fuck
play
out.
pinball to get your bullet out of the gun? Like
I don't. No. Stop it.
terrorists that have been happening on bumpers.
No. Just stop doing what you're doing. You are banned. Start nothing.
Oh fuck! Okay, I need to breathe.
That
Oh,
is the
fuck.
worst idea for a game.
Oh, be right back. Making.
That is horrible.
Let me send this to act. All right. I'm.
And those sequels to games, they just They do really well.
Now, what would you have to do to prestige?
Well, if you score enough points, you unlock the bonus mode.
Oh fuck! Oh fuck! Oh fuck! Oh.
No.
Imagine the multiplayer.
No. Stop it. Just stop.
Oh fuck! Oh Jesus!
Oh,
I think I'm making this part like a separate clip. Oh man, my laugh is so fucked up right now. It really is, but it's just.
I'm just like I'm not. My mind is not wrapping around this concept at all. I don't know what it's.
All right. I think I need to wrap this up. All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and plug my blog that I've been posting most of this stuff to, juegodesign.wordpress.com. It's cool. It's got stuff on there. It's got pictures. It's got words. It's got all the cool things people put on the internet these days, except for porn, cats, and memes, and basically anything that's terrible. Well, I don't know. For porn, you guys might argue otherwise.
Well.
So yeah, I'm gonna end the video there. Thanks for joining me. This has been me and people. I guess I should say names. Fuego, Duffy, whatever you guys want to call me. Mako, or Mackerel. And Super Saiyajin Metroid, aka that name you guys have been seeing in this recording all this time as Kyle Tenen.
You can also call me the guy with the fucked up microphone.
And also the guy you're gonna stalk because, oh my god, he's got cool opinions on Metroid. He's just like
me.
me.
He lives in Pennsylvania at 123 Hampshire Lane.
You know, Kyle, after the chicks watch this video, you're gonna get all of them.
I'm taken. I'm sorry.
It's like, oh man.
Oh, they can't hit on you.
It's like, oh, this guy, he knows the Metroids. Oh, he gets me. Oh, fuck. That's terrible.
Exactly.
That was terrible. I apologize for that.
You know, one last thing about Metroid
Yeah.
that I'm just thinking of now is that in every game, like, you lose your power-ups, and that's a design choice, right? But one
not
game,
really.
Kind of, sort of.
Like you have to, like you have to get them back because we can't think of new stuff. Like,
well, the original ones obviously couldn't do that.
Didn't in Prime? Okay, I mean, I know in Prime you lost your power-ups, but didn't you retain some, like the morph ball, your bombs and such?
No, you started off with a couple and then you just lose everything.
Yeah, because I could have sworn you at least kept some in Prime, like the morph ball.
Okay, but
the point is, weird.
The point is, in every game, basically every game, you have to like get your power-ups back. But like the one series where like you get your power-ups and then the next game you get more power-ups on top of those power-ups I can think of is Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie. And I just think that's interesting how they did that.
I don't know. We really won't be able to see
I
how they
can't.
handle this
I,
next
I,
until they come
I
out with
just
the
thought it
next
was
one.
interesting. Whatever. You probably should have ended the video before I
Ah,
started.
it's all right. I'm just gonna go ahead and hit stop recording now. So thanks for listening, people on the internet, and thanks for coming on to this call and discussing the Metroids with me, guys. And hopefully, I can turn this into a regular thing with various other games. Because I think you might have gotten this, but I like video games. I like to play them. I like to talk about them with friends. So, bye.